24th. Okay, we can start. A very good morning, our listener, and I welcome you to today's edition of the People's Debate program on the number one radio, Pan-African radio, broadcasting on 96.1 FM in Lusaka province, and of course southern and central, as well as surrounding areas. My name is Caesar Sindele, and I'm moderating dialogue today as I have Patriotic Front PF Information and Publicity Desk Chief Admin Chendela Erasmus Mukondo. Mr. Mukondo, good morning, and I welcome you to this day's edition of the People's Debate.
Good morning. It's so humbling to be here, and good morning, our listeners and viewers out there.
That's good to have you after a while. It's been well over a month, if I should recall. How has it been home and with your work?
Well, the main concern that we have, it's the same pandemic, which is affecting our homes, and then also work-wise. But we thank God that miraculously, although where death is concerned, we cannot say that at least or what. We can just say that the Lord has been protecting this country, and then also can say generally Africa. The pandemic seems not to be the way we were told by those doomsayers who are saying we'll see dead bodies in Africa dying in thousands. But we still remain resilient. Even as we mobilize our parties, we still remain resilient even as we report for work, and also make sure that we protect our families. So basically, it's by the divine grace that we are all here.
Right.
And we even continue praying for those countries which have been ravaged by this pandemic, like Brazil and the United States of America.
We rarely hear politicians mentioning God when they speak or make pronouncements. You most of the times I've noticed there's always God being mentioned. Which church you go to? Let's just find out.
I'm a Catholic by faith, and I belong to a movement known as the Catholic Charismatic Renewal.
Charismatic Renewal.
That means within the Catholic there is also Pentecostalism. And Pentecostal, that's a special day when the Holy Spirit fall on the first people profess to be the follower of Christ.
So you pray in tongues, Mr.
Yes, it's very nice to be in tongues, to be spiritually filled. So basically, that is where I find my solace and my strength. So basically, it's the renewal through the Holy Spirit.
Right. The numbers that you'll be getting in touch with us for your comment or question on the program are 0950650916 and 0974760894. We will chiefly dwell our discussion on the PF mobilization amidst COVID-19, as well as the by-elections that are coming up, and we'll also look at the dismissal of the central bank governor, Dr. Denny Kalela, by President Edgar Lungu recently, who has been replaced by Patrick Mvunga, and that has received a lot of criticism so far. In Zambia, most of the things are criticized. Yes. But we'll have to get your position as
the
Patriotic Front. Also, the performance of the economy. We have to look at that as we approach the general elections in 2021. As I told you earlier on, our dear listener, the studio guest is Erasmus Chendela Mukondo, PF Information and Publicity Desk Chief Admin. Now, firstly, Mr. Mukondo, a number of stakeholders believe that the PF is campaigning for 2021 general elections through mobilization programs countrywide in the wake of COVID-19. Now, what is your reaction as PF that you are targeting voters ahead of the general elections through mobilization programs?
Basically, it's very important to differentiate between open campaigns that are allowed constitutionally to happen within the 90 days towards that special day of the tripartite elections. And in that time, there is a special time when even the legislature is dissolved, everything is dissolved, and then it's full throttle. Candidates, they are floated, everybody gets to know. Even at that time, I think even the manifestos of each particular political party are made known. So basically, in the time we are in, what we have been doing is towards the same thing, that is the 2021 elections. They are what we call intra-party mobilization, and these, they come because of the intra-party elections that we always go through every after 3 years. And that is to make sure that we have new office bearers. So basically, when you see this process happening within the Patriot Front, people shouldn't be worried, because this is part of the democratization process, and we make sure that these are happening within the confines of the law. And especially that we have a pandemic in our midst, things have even been made much more strict in the sense that we need to involve the health expert and the health personnel to advise on how we can always conduct our elections. So when we talk about mobilization, ours is that one of the way last time I was talking about that they were halted, and the gatherings were halted. But as we are living, the president had made pronouncement towards the same, as he said, the name new normal, and the people, they have mistaken new normal for something else. But what it means, new normal, it's make sure that we are aware that we are in this pandemic, which is taking lives, the COVID-19. So basically, as we do our social gathering, it could be in-house, coming together, small gathering as little as 20 people to maybe even 300. But what is important, you need to practice the minimum standard, and that is wearing of masks, and then also social distancing. And then what is paramount is that we continue sanitizing our hands and washing our hands, so that we are kept protected.
So you're talking about a limited number of people, gathering during mobilization. Is that possible?
Comrade Caesar, this it's a huge challenge, because if you have seen, there are other things that they are classifying as mobilization, like when the president went on the Copper Belt, where he had the
was received a thunderous welcome.
Yes, along the roads, you would see, these youths, they were wearing masks, they would put on even the same fight in the PF as for Edgar Lungu in the midst of COVID. So basically, that's what the new normal is all about. But what is worrying is where you find if people, they think new normal, it means coming out without wearing a mask, and then you see people saying that we are for Edgar Lungu, but they're not wearing a mask. That's where our main concern is. So basically,
they wore face masks, most of them, quite right. But did they observe social distancing?
Social distancing, as you know, it's something which is very critical, especially among ourselves. To start with, the way we are supposed to practice social distancing, especially in our individual vehicles, we are supposed to have maybe 2 or 1, but it has become a big challenge economically. And even our public transport system, you find that if we are to follow religiously the rules of social distancing, you find that even the transport system will be clamped down. So basically, when it comes to social distancing, for us, it's important that the people that we're reaching, especially that the delegates, they are sensitizing over such arrangement. And where you are spending more than an hour, you make sure that you make those markings. You pre-mark your spaces, so that definitely we have to be seen, and we have to show that we are adhering to these
But let's consider a situation of mobilization, Mr. Mukondo, where there are so many people, flock together like birds. They want to see the president, they want to see whoever is there. Presidents are stars, all right?
Yes.
And every time, wherever they go, they attract a crowd.
Yes, I'll give you an example, like the commissioning of this bridge, where you find that people from the near residential areas, Chawama, Makeni, everybody was there. And, these are events which they are made and announced through the councils. And it's not the Patriot Front, which normally announces such programs, visitation. So basically, the duty falls direct on the people, the council themselves. So basically, but ours as leaders, we have always stood with the directive of the president that he issued in the last meeting in the Central Committee, where I said all the leaders from ward level, the constituency level, district level, they must be seen and they must participate in making sure that the people that, if they are failing people, they must practice social distancing, and the education should be key to fighting this disease. But you find that now when it comes too open, like the way it is, because that one, it also involves in the leadership of the army, the police, and then also, as I said, it's the councils who normally announces. Like that project was under the local council, Lusaka City Council. They should have prepared everything. So when you are looking at that, that is not mobilization. It is very far from mobilization, because as you have rightly said, the president is like a star. And stars, they attract planets, they attract smaller rocks to come around. So the president, when he was opening that thing, you find that the council maybe they never did any job, but otherwise it is such events where people, they think this is mobilization. That is not mobilization. This is just part of the normal duty of the president. So in as he's carrying out these normal duties, we want to appeal especially to government structures like the council, who have been mandated to make sure that this information gets to our people. They make sure that they beef up their personnel. And in an event that they know that they cannot cover, they involve the police. And where the police cannot manage the resource, I think the national service can come in, so that at the end of the day we protect our people, and we protect every voter, and we protect every life of Zambia. And above all, we need a Zambia where everybody's health, and so that once we beat this COVID, we come out of this COVID, it could be 3 years from now, 2 years from now, we should be among those who survive this COVID. And basically, these are some of the misconceptions that the general populace is having. Like the other one, which is under the Ministry of Youth and Child Development, which happened under the 470 million which the president was unveiling to the youth. It's also falling down the Ministry of Youth. It's not the PF itself. These are government programs. So basically, when you talk about the government program, these are very far from mobilization. Otherwise, if these were mobilization, you would have seen our SG, would have been the person next to the president there. But you saw it was purely government officials from India, government officials from our ministries. And then also, when we get to that one on the Copper Belt, it's the same. So basically, the only worry that we have is where you find that, like Honorable Minister Bowman Lusambo, he goes on the ground, and then people flock him, and then it's part of the mobilization, because he's also a mobilization, provincial mobilization chairman for the Copper Belt. That's where now you would come and criticize us and say, no, look at Bowman Lusambo, what was happening. He was not following the laid down procedure. So
does he follow the laid down procedures himself?
He is one of the leaders. I've always said and quoted that he is the man who had helped us so much when the pandemic was coming in. And at times we criticize him of being harsh. So at times, if he's on the other side of being soft with the people, you criticize him. When he's harsh, he's trying to whip the people. Look at Bowman Lusambo. So in Zambia, whether you are following the rules to the letter or you are not following it, you are trying to be more like accommodative. People still.
But the COVID-19 case is about life and death, and
exactly.
Your Copper Belt provincial mobilization chairperson, is he wary of the risk of mobilizing people in such huge numbers each time he's on the Copper Belt?
I think he is one of the COVID survivors. So I think if I say he's one of the COVID survivors, he knows how deadly this disease is. and that today is one of the people who is back, making sure that our people, they continue moving with in tandem with the times. And I've seen a lot of billboards where even when he puts billboards, you start looking and is he wearing a mask? Can you see that the way of wearing a mask? But basically in Zambia, literally anything that somebody does, we criticize and we think it's part of democracy. But what is important
is it okay?
He has demonstrated in Kabushi. He has put up very good billboards. Is it around? Is it even here in Lusaka? He has been one of the people who has been championing this COVID fight. So basically, we are talking about an individual who is very much committed, and he has suffered the same COVID. So to us, it is just part of theory or hearsay. But
is it okay for you as PF to bring a lot of people together when you know that COVID-19 is real?
You have talked about mobilization, and this is the reason why I brought in the Electoral Commission, which says, COVID or no COVID, the elections are going to go ahead. And the president talked about the pronouncement of making sure that we can resume our old life, but we have to make sure that we follow the guidelines. And this is a challenge for everyone, that we continue following the guidelines. It's like, if I trivialize the issues, I would even go to an extent of saying, look at HH. Whoever visits HH, him is wearing a mask, but his neighbor, maybe Mwaliteta, is not wearing a mask. Is he serious about fighting the COVID? So what is important in this regard is that let us take up my appeal is to all the Zambians. This should not be a fight only for the ruling party or for the opposition party or for a few selected politicians. It is a battle for all of us. Even in an event that you are invited to go and attend these meetings, make sure that you protect yourself. Because COVID, when it takes you, it will take you alone to the grave. And there is no second chance or reverse gear once you go to the grave. So basically, that's our message to everyone.
So if
safety,
if we find out from you as politicians, especially those that are contending or want to contest for the presidency, parliamentary seats, as well as other positions that will be elected, yes. Are you mindful of the health of the electorate?
Look, such activities like for MP, those are not open. We have sitting MPs. Incumbents is very important. Those positions for the president, there is no vacancy. I talked about the same importance of incumbents. Let us respect those who are currently leading us out of this pandemic. And at the same time, the people have been mandated to rule until the next coming August. So basically, for us, that's not our consent, and we have not opened it, unless if you had said the SG has come up and they have said those who are aspiring to be members of parliament, it's open, you can start aspiring. But there is, for those who would want to aspire, where there are opposition leaders, for us we are saying you can go ahead, because we need to make new inroads. There you don't fight, you are not fighting any sitting person, but basically it's an opposition MP that you'll be challenging to see the way forward. So basically we have a lot of places where people, those who want to be leaders, especially to aspire for MP, in the Western Province, Northwestern Province, and Southern Province, you are free to go and campaign. But here in Lusaka, where you find that there is an MP for PF, you go to Central Province where you find that there are MPs for PF. It doesn't make sense, because we have not failed. How are you going to criticize that one who is sitting? You'll be shooting yourself in the foot. So basically, for us, the doors are not yet open for those places where we know that we are enjoying the incumbents. In the presidency, we don't have any vacancies. And let's emulate the United States of America, which we are talking about. For those who would want to see democracy, how it applies in America, emulate what is going through today. Donald Trump, he will be standing for a week. He's also disturbed with the mobilization because it was supposed to be a full war, but he has been told to cut it in 2 days so that it is they participate following the international standards. So basically, it's not only happening here in Zambia, but this issue of incumbents and then also somebody who is looking for the presidency, it's not open for now. So we don't want such people, those who will just be bringing problems, and we'll be looking at them as encumbrances in the process of our democracy. So aspire for the position of Lusaka province chairman, because even that one again, the lead has not been opened because we don't want to be acrimonious, to see everybody campaigning because of the same pandemic that we have.
Now you're on record as PF. The pictures are clear on social media and even in other media publications, where we see huge crowds when PF officials are. Before you respond, I just want to add on to that. This thing which is happening, it's making some of your critics to even think that it's PF which is spreading the COVID-19 in this country because of evidenced by the number of people that attend your meetings. Look, what's your take on that?
That is just part of the social media criticism, critics. And if you look at, I would take for instance in Malambo, where we have our provincial minister there, and then also MP for Malambo, who has been mobilizing the party because after the flood, a lot of people there, they have nowhere to sleep, they have nowhere to find food. You find that it has been a continuous process, so that we continue assisting our people, because that's number one. It's a duty of the current MP to make sure that people are mobilized, and then to make sure that resources are distributed. And then on the other side, we have to make sure that the structures, they provide leadership. So basically, when it comes to the PF itself being criticized that we have been carrying the COVID from one place to another, that's a blue line. Because you have seen that last time you were asking me, if you see the SG and the other people from Lusaka going there, what will you say? You will be able to provide some graphical examples of such scenarios. But the thing is, the PF is very attractive, and it's a very big party. It's a national party. So basically, when it comes to such numbers, to us, those are not even huge numbers. They are small numbers, in fact, because when we have our full-fledged mobilization, it fills the ground.
So you'd rather have 300 people get infected?
We are not
instead of 3 million?
Look, we are not even desiring to see, not even one. We don't even want to get affected, but we have been challenged, because if we don't move in these far-flung places, who will go there? Who will get to know what the challenges that our people are getting? Because these meetings, when you're talking about mobilization, there are a lot of issues that people brings out. Others will be complaining about water. As if how are we going to vote for you? You promised us jobs. Here, you promised an industry here. You promised us water. You promised us a road here. So there are a lot of things that will go to gather and we submit to the Secretary General.
Which, so that in simple terms, is a campaign.
That's why it's not a campaign. We are fulfilling our campaign.
How do you fulfill your campaign?
We have already campaigned. We campaigned in 2016. You understand?
I want to get you to a point you have just brought up. How do you fill up a campaign message when people are telling that we have no water? Is that filling up campaign messages?
Listen, I told you very well when I was talking about the inter-party politics, and then also the way it is open to the general public in the 90 days. That's when we are even avail the new manifesto. For us, we have the mandate, and we are implementing or fulfilling the campaign messages. And where people are reminding us, here you said this, That's why even the most difficult question we have ourselves, if you tell us we are campaigning, then it becomes very simple. Because it will mean we have to forget about what we promised in 2011, the manifesto that we gave the people of Zambia. And in 2016, where we said we pledged we'll give 500,000, minimum 500,000 to, 2 million jobs.
You have done that?
Those are what we call the campaign message.
Have you done that?
Now,
have you given jobs?
That's why jobs to this very day, we are doing that. And it's not an overnight thing that you can just create at one time, boom, we have created jobs. No. You talk about, last time I was very impressed the way you were asking me. Does the economy only mean Minister of Finance or only agriculture? But I said the economy includes the security. So today you're not impressed with the way I'm asking? We are very much comfortable and impressed, because I want to give you some good examples, like under security. We have made sure that 5,000 houses have been constructed across the nation. So 5,000 houses, it means a lot of our Zambian people lives have been enhanced. It's part of the employment creation that we had promised our people of Zambia. Besides that, we go to these communication towers. We have elected almost 1,009 masts plus. So basically, these are some of the things. I like what the people of Western Province were asking Honorable Kafwa, the Minister for Communication. They were talking about intelligent things. They were saying, oh, yes, we know that you have elected about, 16 masts in Western Province, but you look, this province is so vast, would want you to invest more in terms of telecommunication towers. That does not mean that we are campaigning, but somebody is trying to say, even if you promised us that you bring masts, 16 of them, they are not enough. So when the minister says, no, I'm pledging, I'll bring 10 more, that does not mean it's a campaign. It's now, just basically working on the variations.
The number of accommodations units, you give us the correct records, statistics are there. Over towers, you give us the correct statistics. What about the jobs? How many jobs have you created as PF?
A lot of jobs, especially under the security.
Without saying a lot of jobs, just give us the correct number.
I can tell you.
For houses, you have said so much is the number. And towers, you have said the number. But what is wrong?
Under security, we have engaged more than 15,000 as at to date. Our youths under the means of security. You have been hearing every month, every year. Kamfinsa, we had 1,200 youths who had graduated. Here in Kafiwe, you find that 900 had graduated. Living, Relay, they had graduated. Under the means of prisons, just like that. So basically where 15,000 people are, it's a huge number. Because we are talking about not employing everybody, but at least to contribute towards the economy, we need to put a sizable number.
Now your projection.
You know, look, I still want to come back to the same projection of 500,000. Look, when you inherited this economy of ours, one Zambia, one nation, this in 2011, we had inherited a workforce for the civil servants about 700,000. But today, you are talking about 1.5, between 1.2 to 1.5. That is just the civil servants. And then those the others who are in these parastatals and others, you find that it's another 1.2 million. So basically, we have continued providing employment to our people. And it's unfortunate that the opposition will come with the trivial issues, say, no, can you show us?
Now,
it's
very
simple.
Just a recap. How many jobs did you promise to create?
We promised
in 2016.
We promised between 500 to 2 million.
Is that number too much for you that you can fail?
We are ambitious. That's why we had set those targets for ourselves.
Have you succeeded, or how many are remaining out of the?
You know, I can give you an example. Just under the Ministry of Health, where you find I was talking about the 14,000, 15,000 under the security wings. I'm talking about 22,000 doctors and medical staff, the nurses. That is 22,000. They have been engaged across the nation. And, you know, why we cannot employ everybody at once, it's that look at the two international airports. They are not yet in full completion, meaning they are pending. Immediately they are commissioned, you will see thousands will be employed. The other ones, if you look at ZESCO itself, these 750 megawatts, engineers will be employed. It will need a lot of standby army of engineers to be working in this institution, accountants, and then also these other staff to support these structures that we have constructed. Not only that, it will mean also meter readers. It has a multiplier effect. So when we're talking about a structure of 750 megawatt, we are not only talking about the peripheral one of engage 5,000 direct youths, but we are talking about once that structure it becomes operational, it will mean more jobs for ZESCO, because now we'll be able to open up. Even this, they made the minimum houses of about 1 million connection. You find that coming to 2021, you find that they will even have maybe even 3 million houses connected across the national grid. So that means more work for our people. So basically, when you're talking about employment, these are the things. There are a lot of projects which have not come to completion yet, but we will see to it that the economy.
But are they coming to completion during your allotted 5-year tenure? As
yes, especially the 750 megawatts. I think by now, I think we are happy that they had commissioned 1 turbine. So we will keep on. Last time when I was here, I think in 2019, it was bad. It was extremely bad because we had to wait even in between the programs. There was no electricity.
You promised us yourself.
Yes,
yourself,
yes. But yes, I promised. Yes. But because of the same problem of having the carriers, having the other ones, those are the people who have given the task to implement. So basically, ZESCO, we have the director there who has his own explanation to give the people of Zambia, but we get the same communication that they give to us. But what is important to us, it's that we provided the resources to ZESCO. We provided the necessary labor, or the people of Zambia that have provided the necessary labor. So it's up to now ZESCO to make sure that we meet these targets.
Right. This is the People's Debate, and my guest is Chendela Erasmus Mukondo, who is PF Information and Publicity Desk Chief Admin. The numbers to call us on the program for your comments or question are 0950650916 and 0974760894. Now, the cost of living is high. Everybody knows that. Even you, Mr. Mukondo, know that, unless you want to dispute.
You know, we are coming from the West. The cost of living in Zambia has been very high since 1985. For those who have been with us...
Let us not go back to old days. The people of Zambia changed government and, of course, reintroduced multi-party politics or pluralism in 1991 because they wanted to do away with the one-party participatory democracy of UNIP and its government. So they hoped for the better. And when the MMD came in power, of course, people saw changes, and the democratization process still goes on. So let us not look at what happened those days in the old days of Kaunda. We are looking at multi-party dispensation. Have you, as PF, done your very best to ensure that the economy is okay and poverty levels in the country are alleviated?
Yes, we have been, since we were ushered into power in 2011, we went flat out to improve the road network. And this, we have seen how our people's life, at least poverty levels, have been elevated. Because we no longer pay or repair the vehicles, this is taxi driver, if you are a taxi driver, the way it was happening in MMD. If you are operating a bus, you know that we are no longer having problems with the shocks, because you know that at least almost 90% of the roads are tarred. And for those, our mothers, they used to queue at UTH, a very filthy UTH, very good economic indicators with 3 billion on the account, but it was unfortunate that we didn't have such infrastructure that we have. Today, a mother in Kalingalinga, Kalikiliki, wherever they have at least these mini hospitals within their reach. They don't need to get back to UTH to make sure that they deliver a bouncing baby, boy or girl. So that is the health sector. And then in the MMD, it was a miracle to even post even 300 police officers. Because to start with, remember very well, we inherited an economy where police officers were looking like this, the uniform they are wearing, as our late President Michael Sata used to describe them. But they are looking very decent. And not only that, we have made sure that all our civil servants now who are around 1.2 to 1.5 million, they are paid. And even because we understand, even in these hard times like COVID time, we have always paid our workers their salaries. Today, it can be big news if you hear that Edgar Lungu has failed to pay our workers for even 1 month or 2 months.
But
that's how efficient
you seem to be
the
bragging,
system.
You seem
that's
to be
how
bragging,
what do you want me to say? I'm bragging because we have improved.
You seem to be bragging about the conditions of service for those in the civil service. What about the general populace of Zambia? You know, we have a lot of people that are vulnerable, that do not work.
I started with the roads. Go to Kanyama of today. It's very different from Kanyama of 2011. If you will be able to access the Kanyama in 2011, it's unfortunate. You wouldn't even want to go there because we talked about in our campaign, we want to give back dignity to our people. That's what we mean. I talk about the health facilities where the rest of every Zambian can access that. Today, you go to Matero, it's the same. You go to Vubwi, there is a masterpiece of general hospital. You go to Kalomo, there is a hospital there.
Have you alleviated poverty in the country?
That's what we call alleviation. Because the alleviation is whereby if people don't have transport, they cannot even access the medical facilities. That is abject poverty. If people cannot access water, that is access poverty. On the Copper Belt, there is a very powerful project that we did, even that other people cannot see, the water and the electrification system. You saw how it was happening along Mombwa Road. Very few people can say that we have received such a system from the American government to the PF government because of good environment that we have provided.
Man's number one basic need
on the Copper Belt
is shelter, right?
Yes.
And
water,
second,
shelter, food.
Let's talk about food.
Food, we have made sure that we have secured our bumper harvest. This is the reason why you hear people, you see the borders. Like Tanzania, they are coming into Zambia to steal our food. Malawi, they are coming into Zambia to steal our. Congo, it's west. The largest border that we share, they are always getting food from here. It is not our people who go to Malawi, Tanzania, Zimbabwe, and Congo. It was going to be very bad because that's a very big sign of poverty. But we have continued providing the leadership when it comes to food. It's only
food can be there, Mr. Mukondo, Chendela Erasmus, but many people do not have the purchasing power.
The purchasing power.
Is it not worrying you as a purchasing power?
The purchasing power could have been eroded because we have involved ourselves in massive infrastructure development. And this is the reason why. That's why you even saw the president at least had to understand to come up with that 470 million to help the youths because of the COVID. Because all the time, we had the challenge after challenge, especially with this climate change. It has been with us. This El Nino has been with us and has been doing damage to our economy. In addition to agriculture itself, the water boards have been affected. We have also suffered the energy. But on the other side, if you look at the consumption of energy, it has been a challenge. You cannot compare Zambian student of today and in 2011. As a student of today, they drive vehicles. They are on cell phone. In addition to that, they are on laptops. In addition to that, they have to make sure that they are charged all these gadgets. So basically, we have been up to the challenge. This is the reason why I was talking about the masts. These masts, they have also provided employment to our people. The other time I traveled to Southern Province, and that was in Neganega. You will find that there are these small boots which our youths have been using. You are able to withdraw money. So when it comes to transactional activities that attract employment, we have been above board. We have made sure that money has been made available across the nation, so that anyone who wants to buy fertilizer can access it, because we have been talking about the same thing of accessibility of cash. So the Zambian of today and the Zambian of 2011 is very different. Unless you want to remain behind or you are a lazy person, then you find that the Patriot Front is not a party which you bring to your house to say, no, I'll come and fix it, the way our other friend has been promising, that everything you'll be fixing. Everything to him you'll be fixing. But for us, it is always a challenge, and we have always told our people, think on how you can help the nation, not asking how the nation should help you, but you should also think of how you can help your nation by first having that adage in your mouth as your narrative. You are starting on a very good ground. It will start with your children. Think how you can help your children to go to university, not thinking how Edgar Lungu will bring education to your children. So basically, that is the multi-party that we moved in.
More money in your pockets, more jobs, lower taxes was your campaign message in 2011 as well as 2015 and 16. What would be your campaign message this time around? Since jobs, you say are there, but some people cannot see them.
You know,
more taxes, lower taxes, but we have more taxes. So what will be your campaign message this time around?
You know, we have the 7th National Development Plan, which we are following. And that is not leaving anyone behind. And that has been our narrative. We're not going to leave anyone behind. And the president has always been spearheading that one. Until such a time that when we meet as the whole Patriotic Front under the umbrella of a conference, that's when we are going to have a new campaign language for 2016 and beyond. But for the time being, it's important that people get to know that it's Edgar Lungu continue. And then at the same time,
what do you mean Edgar
Sontapo,
continue?
It is the number Sontapo Apashere. We are not going to change the leadership. The Edgar Lungu,
as PF, you're not going to change the leadership.
Yes, we are going to vote the same candidate. So that is what is on our table. It's to make sure that all those people who want to continue moving with the PF, it's first know that we have one candidate, one Edgar Chagwa, and it's continuing.
So it will be very unreasonable for the PF to hold a convention for certain positions such as the presidency, because you are saying you will not change leadership. When others are ambitious, they have got aspirations to become president of the PF, meaning you're torpedoing, you're blocking them. You don't want them now to express their ambitions to run the party.
That's an excellent question which I've brought forth, especially for those who are very stubborn, those who don't want to follow procedure. Let's look what is happening in the United States of America. Donald Trump, that's why democrats, we normally say that it has produced wonders and wonders. Today, Donald Trump will be going, is it for about 7 days or so? He will just be talking about what he's expecting to do in the coming second term if he's elected. So, are we saying Donald Trump, they are just formalities? They are meeting. Today, as I'm talking about this, they are meeting. But they are not talking about having somebody apart from Donald Trump taking over from him. So, we have always taken America as a good example. So, for us as a Patriot Front, what is happening in America will happen exactly even here in the PF.
So meaning your
incumbency,
your intra-party democracy is questionable, not so?
Incumbents. Why is it? Why are you not asking the American system? Why is it?
They are not Zambians. Americans are not Zambians.
No, and
we can't question them.
Listen,
in fact, they were not even colonial masters to Zambia. No, unless you said the British, maybe. In fact, if you could be asked.
I even like that, because they also celebrate independence and they talk about democracy, which brings freedom. And when you talk about democracy, it's an imported commodity. Here in Africa, we never had democracy. It's an imported commodity. Constitutionalism is an imported commodity. So basically, comparative politics should play a major role here. look what is happening in America. There is a yardstick, that's what is happening. So that we learn the practicality of what democracy is. Not to kufika mbilamo chabe. No, he say what. You talk about a party which opposes us, a UPND. They are always dreaming. They have never been in governance as in full-fledged. Yes, they have been in governance through the legislature, but they have never had this opportunity of running a government. So basically, let's take a good leaf from what is happening in the United States of America. That is the good representation of comparative politics. So we cannot do away. Otherwise, if we did our own Zambian democracy, people will be laughing at us. Yeah, African democracy and so African democracy and so So what is happening in America is exactly what will happen here in Zambia, where you find Donald Trump
in the PF,
not in the PF.
We're talking of the president.
So okay, what will happen in the Republican Party at the moment? That's what will happen also in the PF now ourselves, because you don't want me to say what will happen in the American governance system, but what will happen with the Republican Party where Donald Trump belongs. That's what exactly will happen here in Zambia.
No subjection of the party president to an election.
Incumbents. There is a rule of incumbency in a democracy institution. Or
didn't his tenure expire in the PF as president?
No, it has not expired. We voted for him in 2014. That was in November. So he's still running up to November. So this is the reason why we are in a haste to make sure that we normalize all the party procedures so that we follow our articles of our constitution, which the SCG cited.
Right, this is the People's Debate. My guest is Chendela Erasmus Mukondo, PF Information and Publicity Desk Chief Admin. Very shortly, the phone lines will be open for your comment or question. And the numbers are 0950-650-916 and 0974760894. It is 11:04. And of course, the interview continues. We move on to something else. The disappointment of Dr. Denny Kaliaria as central bank governor recently by the head of state, President Edgar Lungu, has been received with mixed feelings, whereby even a South African Minister of Finance has commented. And
very embarrassing.
He doesn't really... is not happy with what has happened. And of course, we have UPND leader Hakainde Chilema, who says replacing Den Kalela is like replacing a surgeon, a heart surgeon with a mechanic. And of course, Sean Tembo of the PEP has also issued a statement regarding this development. Even others, including the civil society. President Lungu has been criticized for what is constitutional right to appoint or disappoint. Your take on this criticism?
Look, when it comes to disappointing and appointing, especially with the comment of HH, where I'm saying it's like replacing it with a mechanic. It's like he himself, why does he want to replace the PF in 2021? It's like replacing, in his own way, they will be telling him a working president with that of a mechanic. But anyway, this issue surrounds the constitution. We will still say that it's a right of the Zambian people. It's a democratic right that we should subject every person to go for a constitutional. Is it a change of office? That will be his defense. And then the other one, when we talk about this disappointment, this man was given a contract in 2015 by our Republican president, Edgar Lungu. He appointed him. And when he was appointing him, it's his prerogative to appoint whoever he wants. And he does not do any consultants or anything to ask HH or to ask Shiawan or to ask, is it Mbo, the finance minister of South Africa? He appoints because it's a prerogative. And when it comes to disappointing, he can disappoint any person and then appoint another person whom he thinks will deliver. So basically in Zambia, we have had 16 governors. He's not the first one to be disappointed, meaning the other 15, they have also been there and they did their part. And for Kadialia, he has had his time from 2015 to where we are. If we look at the economy itself, or what they like the UPN talking about, it's the kwacha versus the dollar rate. When he took over 2015 to where we are, where is it? If they think they are the cousin to HH has been performing. Last time I came here, I talked about the same.
Which one is the cousin to HH?
The same Kaliaria. It's important, when we are coming out criticizing, we should also declare interest. We say, no, this one, even if I'm talking about him, he's also my biological cousin. Shia one also, he say, even if I'm talking this one, I'm supporting because it's this. And then the other one also, the South African minister. It's unfortunate. It has never happened. It's the first time I'm hearing of such behavior. Anyway, technology, you think that you are talking local, because you are talking international. And I'm happy. I saw that I cannot do too much about that minister because he has been reprimanded by the president there. He has warned him, and I think he was out of bound. So basically, that is the latest information that we have. So when it comes to Danny Kadaria, I found it very strange because if Dan Kadaria was replaced by, let's say, Dr. Luvinda Habazoka, no one was going to talk. They will be sending congratulations message. There is also an important element which you will see especially with the coming in of HH on the political on the political platform. Is it the political stage in Zambia? Is the man who was propelled to where is using tribe. So when you see HH commenting over an appointment, it's either the person who is talking about is he from Southern Province, or is a Lozi, or somehow is a relative. That's when you talk. The other time it was this gentleman in the police, a very junior officer, the one who was in fact promoted to Tazara as a senior now person to oversee the command of Tazara. He's also from Southern Province. You saw how they protested. No, that man knows the kingpin of these gas people who kill whatever. So basically, some of these things, when you see people who are commenting, others, when see temple, they just come into play. They don't even know what they'll be falling to. It's because we have these guys who have hidden agendas. When they comment, it's because they know that there must be some tribal inclination. So with me, I wouldn't even want to support either party, but the president is following the constitution and there will be ratification. So if HH's complaint should not be through social media, through his members of parliament, because this appointment, it's of public concern, and it has to go through the central, is it the legislature, where his MPs are, and he should make it an issue the way he made Bill 10, the way it was. He should also put it as part of the Bill 10 challenge. So for me, I know it has always been like that. You touch a person who is from Eastern Province, it's normal. And the replacement, especially that is also an Easterner, who is coming from the president's side, for them it is tribalism. Look at the person, he has the credentials, he has all the experience and education that one can become governor of Bank of Zambia. But the people, they have trivialized the issues. They are talking about his personal lifestyle. But if you look at that person, he's a person who has been on the helm of big institutions like the Standard Chartered Bank of South Africa.
Now, due to COVID-19...
And then the other issue is they are making him PF. In fact, it's not even PF. If you look at the social media, they had even gotten an extract of him dancing. Is it Tanda Rupia Band? In fact, you can even associate him as somebody who was a supporter of MMD. But the president is looking at professionalism.
Now,
He's looking at an
due to
individual.
COVID-19, Mr. Chendela, Parliament adjourned Senate
Yes.
here, and the process of appointment. There is one. The president identifies a name,
Yeah.
and then takes it to Parliament for ratification. Now, Parliament is still adjourned, and the announcement was made that he is the new central bank governor. Should he report for work or wait until Parliament ratifies him or approves him?
Well, I'm not an expert when it comes to such legal jargons. I think we have to see how the situation will unfold. But otherwise, what I know, an appointment is an appointment. I've seen a lot of people who have been appointed even before ratification. It even takes even 3 months. You find the but no, Parliament has ratified the Mutembo Nchito as this. You remember the Mutembo Nchito saga? He kept on working. So basically, that's what I know in Zambia. You immediately you are appointed, you take over, and then the ratification it comes later on.
Right now, before he was fired, Dr. Chendela said Zambia's economic conditions during the second quarter of 2020 have worsened, and prospects for growth are weak owing to a substantial decline in consumer demands, wholesale and retail trading, and the sharp rise in the number of COVID-19 cases. Now, what hope can PF give to the people of Zambia that the economic stress the country is currently experiencing will be sorted out before the general elections in 2021?
You know, I like his observation. I watched that interview on ZMB Sunday Agrivajo. And his observation, it's the decline in activities, that is work-wise, because of the COVID-19. And he was very precise. The last time we had observed such a scenario in Zambia, it was in 1999, when we had almost all the activities were nothing that Zambians were in 1999. All the mines were closed. Literally, there was no activity in Zambia which was being produced. So that's what he's trying to compare with. And then he even said we had posted 1.9 GDP. Today, we are in the negative because of the same COVID pandemic. And this is the reason why I think HH, his cousin, he talked about it, saying we are in the intensive care, and then it's like you can remove this surgeon and they bring in the other surgeon. This operation, whatever he's talking about, it's unfortunate that he talked about removing removing, is it a doctor? For him, I thought he's a doctor, not in health lines, but he's a doctor in economics. That's what I thought. So the mechanic, whoever is calling their mechanic, being an accountant, it's unfortunate because I know I'm coming from I'm a chartered accountant, and I also worked for the bank under foreign department. And what we are suffering in most cases, this forex payments, you find that we are too much of paying the procurement and whatever outside than as compared to what we are producing in the nation. So basically, with me, the problem does not start with Kariaria, and it does not end with Kariaria. It was just one of the factors in the bottleneck
Perhaps his
of our economy.
His statement
So basically,
did not settle down with the appointing authority.
So basically, the solution to our problems is not Kariaria at all. Because Kariaria, he has identified the problem. And the problem is very simple. It's on raising the resources and making sure that there is employment. And one of the most important things that they needed to do, or what the central banks are supposed to do, is to come up with this package which has been authorized, about 10 billion, which is under his, which was under his hands, to make sure that they raise these resources and they make sure that the Zambian people, the economy is up again. So basically, for me, I don't see it wrong. It's in such times as this that another person will be substituted, another one will be put in. But otherwise, the idea is here. He has been there on the helm for the past, is it 5 years or so?
Now, as we go to 2021 general elections, how do you view the performance of the country's economy?
The performance of the country economy does not only rely on the Bank of Zambia, but it also relies too much on the ZRA, who are on the physical side. And then also, when it comes to job creation, we also bring in like the IDIS, Industrial Development Corporation, which has been posting very good numbers. And then also these projects that we have implemented. And I think these projects, they are the one which will speak volumes for us as a Zambian, as a ruling party. So ours is that one of making sure that this project, they come to the end.
Right, we start getting your views on the program. The numbers are officially open: 0950650916 and 0974760894. I'm talking to Chendela Erasmus Mukondo, PF Information and Publicity Desk Chief Admin. Feel free to come through with your submission and stick to what we have discussed. And above all, do not use inflammatory or vulgar language. We want the contributions to be very sober so that we can have an effective discourse on this particular program that comes to you Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with studio guests. We have a caller on the line. Good morning.
Good morning, Caesar.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine, how are you?
Very, very fine.
Good morning,
Erasmus. Thank you.
How are you, Mabukashan? Mkwai. Okay, Babalia. Okay, Babalia, akashitake mkapa twatotela sana. All right, that is Walia being the first caller on the program already. You know, we have missed 20 calls just in this period, but we're expecting more to come from you. The phone lines are open, so feel free to participate. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello there. Hello. Yes, good morning. Hello, hello. Okay, hello. Oh, too bad. I tried to call again. The line wasn't so okay, but come through on a 0974760894 and 0950650916. Hello, good morning. Twasebenza chabe buno bwanji huko. Okay, Wachilungamo, you are through to the program. Your submission. Mukamba na wa Chendela Erasmus Mukondo, PF Information and Publicity Desk Chief Admin. Bamene.
wakamba nokamba divonze vilimushe manje wachenjwa futi. Waona ati ndio hypocrite. Chilungamo vera brother tukachosa Zesco MD muzamba kuposita pa Facebook that awe mambo chosa abantu futi
Okay, Chilungamo, thank you so much. We'll pick another call on the program, then the guest will be responding. Let's see who's here on the line. Good morning.
Morning, moderator.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm okay, how are you?
Very fine. Is that Wanangoma?
Yes, Wanangoma on the line.
Okay, Wanangoma, you are through. You can go ahead with your contribution.
Okay. Mukondo, Mwashuken kwa.
Yeah, mkwa mashuka shanona ngoma. Ninyo nomo ka? How is the range?
I remember that Satelo Valley, where I followed one campaign as PF. Valley, more money in the PF. That means where another Mukaleva Kumbisha. When you are sending Kalia, you have teacher, I have college. We only know what the blind Pakavaka. Ufire wa Monaco na kandi pariolero na paka kitu pia tunaita kumpocket more. Na unirone la kati Pakavaka. But doctor, we don't get everybody who doctor first. Kitako na kama paria unelo lela. That's more money in the pocket. Nero nombanga kwa isalo le shabaisala. We twaisalo le shapuli development. When na mumomba. PF one safety. Epo mwavero kumakuli batata wakateka. Tulei mwana mojo. Patale sibakula. Mwalindisha ama doctors na manese za wengi. Ama skuza ya bakula. Balindisha ama teachers za wengi. Mojo tule mwana indisha kwa shisha alekuwa. Abana besu wali ya ingire nchito. Ni mojo. Elo chimocho ni ngalanda wa Mukondo. Sefa munja fueko kwena fueba kulireko mask state. Ushamu yunipi. Tamwari sana. Uyunipi tamwari abalofwa. Wonse keba kiashi besu wonse bale bomba. Mwe mjinamu. Tamwari abalofwa. Wonse kebale bomba wonse neti akuli abale kukolesha. Mahe mwe mji. Pakwema ababa mesaya wa UPNG abalandaji. Insala MPF. Insala ishali mo mwe mji. Insala ishali mo. I remember inena restisha kufa weto kufuka mwaloko. Kufa weto munzaji muli abale tumefort. Niba MMT. Bale tutancha mmapo. Niba MMT. Niba PF. Derweta kita PF. Atuteko wa PF. Kushoyo mesaya. Waba UPNG. Ukesa. Puisha tensale chalo chonte cha Zambia. Ukalapo nyendeke. Ikalapo nyefi ya kuli obunga. Dotu doka. Chabantua kare fulaba Mukondo.
Okay, Wanangoma.
Atotera.
Twatotela sana Wanangoma.
Atotera.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ngoma, for coming through. Your responses to the callers?
I think we should have had more, because all of these Wadia and then also Wanangoma, they are supporting us. They are saying that we are a working government, and the only thing that we have to do is to sontapo epo twabomba. So basically, the other one is just Chirungamo. I think Chirungamo talked about replacing the ZESCO director. So if we did the same, because it has happened to Kadiada, we hear somebody will go and post, you have replaced him with this one. So as I said, some of these things, they are very difficult, because they would want, once you make a replacement, you should replace somebody maybe looking at tribal line. But this president, Juan Edgar Chagwalungu, looks at merits, and his appointment have been on merit. And I'm happy for the first time. If you look at a lot of these ministerial appointments, you find that a person will be at least closer to what he is doing. So for us as the Patriotic Front, we are encouraged when we hear such a positive statement which are coming from our comrades who are on the ground, especially Banangoma, where she's even challenging one HH. Is he going to use the plane? How many planes is he going to use to make sure that all the Zambians, they receive what he has been telling us? But he has told us that it's all about just one word: hard work. We need to be committed people. We need to make sure that we are a hardworking, resilient people if we are to talk about more money in our pockets. And she talks about the 1960s. The population then were only 3 million. Did it mean that all the Zambians were employed in 1960 to 1969? In 1970, is it 1991 when Chiluba came on board, you talked about the coming in of democrats. Did it mean everybody got employed? In fact, it was the other way around. You find that the little employment which was there, the 400,000 youth, you find that more people lost out when the democratization process came to fruition, and when these liberal policies were being implemented. You find that as we are liberalizing the economy, there was a big vacuum which was created. There was no employment. And the 20 years of MMD, they were just selling assets. But from 2011 to where we are, ourselves, we are not poison sellers. We have not even sold any company. We have been instead building, and it has been our daily task and our daily cry to develop this nation. We have talked about China. Why is it that people would want to go to China? It's because of the infrastructure development that has happened in China. It's because of the infrastructure development that has happened in Dubai. That's the reason why people would want to go to Dubai. So that somebody can go and stand on one of those high-rise structures to see how the world looks like in Dubai. So basically, infrastructure development is very cardinal. Dubai is what it is because of infrastructure development. If we want to go the Dubai way, let's invest in infrastructure development. If we want to go the Switzerland way, it's a landlocked country. It enjoys a lot. It's very mountainous. Enjoys a lot of water, just like Zambia. So this is the reason why we have been investing in a hydropower station. This is not only that, we have added on even to bring on board even smart solutions like this solar powered electricity, so that at the end of the day, we have our people, there's so much needed energy in these markets, bus stations, and then also the Salaula and other places, so that they will be able to continue transacting. And this is the way forward with us as Zambians. And as I talked about it, I think they have explained that the Zambian people, they are seeing what is happening under PF, and they are able to make distinctions. So when you talk about our economy, somebody who is UPND won't talk about bringing in hospitals, because hospitals have been put in place. Somebody won't talking about the telecommunication masts, because we have implemented that. Somebody won't talk about building houses for our security personnel, because we have done that. Somebody won't talk about providing employment to our youths when you talk about this police. You know, the police, for the first time, government jobs have become so attractive as compared to the MMD. People, just when Manawasa was there, by 2014, very few people would want to join the police. Very few people would want to join the civil service. Why? Because the salaries were paltry. So basically, as the Patriot Front, we are very comfortable. We have done what others have failed to do. When people had the 3 billion on their account, they were thinking times like this will come. They will be able now to start giving food to our people. But today, because we had done the homework, instead of letting the money sit in the Bank of Zambia, the 3 billion there, we have made it accessible to our people. Hospitals and roads, infrastructure development.
Let's accommodate more calls on the program. I know there are so many people want to engage you. Good morning. Hello. Okay, manje kuli feedback zimyani chilimba chani. Okay, Levi. Okay, Levi tina ba Mukondo mu.
Bwino tosenza banyi mwibanja Levi. Ziko. Walevi chilimba chipanga chongo. Chizimenche so that much they contribute much. Okay, Suzanne. Okay, Valevi. So sorry. Work on your phone, but otherwise we have so
got.
Yes,
we pick more calls. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Yes, morning.
I'm okay. How are you doing?
Good, my brother.
All right. Your name? Collins.
Yes.
Okay, my Collins. London too.
Yes, Collins. We are listening, Collins.
bebe nimwe bene nimwe omulanda la bene Number Collins. Okay, Collins. Otherwise, the point I wanted to bring out is when your fellow caller contributes, don't criticize or attack their views, because this platform is for divergent views. So your task is to quiz the person we bring in the studio, ask them questions, and please don't talk about what your fellow caller has earlier said, because we are expressing your different views and we really respect that. We'll pick another call, and Mr. Mukondo will respond after this. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you, madam?
Fine, how are you?
Very fine. Mana mwa mlamu mfukapa kuti mwalanda.
How do you feel when you want to mwa mulishani?
Okay, wana mwa twa emkwa iba baumfa ba Mukondo. Okay, you can respond now.
Yes, I will pick first Collins, where I said we are suffering, and I went to Chawama with the wife, and they were given a prescription for Fansida. And the other one which I would want to clarify to our friend is that we are in a COVID environment, and when it comes to the demand of medication, especially in these urban areas, you find that the demand is too huge. And it's very unfortunate that the other time I was talking, I think I was on Millennium. We have people who normally go to get medication from these health centers. They go to collect like it's wholesale. So at the end of the day, they deprive of other friends. But I can also advise him that, these health centers that have been scattered almost everywhere. I can tell you, if you were to go to Gwembe today, you will find that Gwembe is stocked with a lot of medicine the way it is, because of the population also there. So when it comes to the consumption of this medicine, you don't expect same levels. Today, you find that the fancy has run out of stock. The other day it was insulin. Today you find that it will be malaria drugs, because of the pandemics in which we are in. And a lot of these medicine, we don't manufacture them from within. They are ordered from outside. So basically, it's one of those medicine shortages. You find today there's no Panadol. Tomorrow you come, you find that it has been procured, it's back. So basically, I think it's one of just those one-off. But in PF, we have never had such scenarios the way it used to be in MMD. In MMD, it was a song of the day. People were given a prescription. For us, it's one of the things that we have come to stop. And it's not only that if you find that, these drugs like Fansida, and I think it could be even one of the drugs that is being phased out of the system. That's why you find that it's very difficult to get. But there are these other medications. What is important is that you get the right information from these health centers. If they are able to give you the tests, the hardworking people, don't expect everything to be given. At least you are given what you are suffering from. It's malaria. Make sure that you go at least to get malaria drugs at the nearest pharmacies. Because this thing, it's a two-way thing. You cannot just put the blame on government. They have given you what you're suffering from. The machine, the equipment which is there, has been able to detect that you are sick of malaria. But where you find that people are unable to even help when it comes to testing, then it will be a big challenge. That the equipment is just sitting idle. And then he talked about another equipment which is to do with the security wings. It's important that we provide, in fact, the security that this government has procured for our men and women in uniform. I'm happy that even in social media itself, they are scared of the same equipment. And I think Honorable Minister for Home Affairs, Kampiongo, he said only criminals should be afraid of such equipment. The other time, under means of local government, we procured these fire tenders. It was everywhere. They were just being shown, look at this equipment, it's finished, whatever. But I'm happy this time around, the police, they have done them justice. We have the latest equipment. And this equipment, if you can see, they are from China. And this equipment is up to task to the job that is pending, even as we get closer to the election. We don't need to lose the Zambian. That's when we can empower ourselves with such equipment. We need to prepare ourselves as a country like this. And this is happening after a long time in the history of the police, and then also the security wings, the prisons, where they have procured for them mega buses. The prisoners, they are no longer moving like convicts. Is it this convict or people who are appearing, the remanded people? They are no longer moving like is it slaves or something else in the Kasalanguas. But this equipment, it was so a help in such a predicament which we used to have.
Okay.
So basically, we expect people to give a pack, the Patriot Fund, for having succeeded in this trajectory. So basically, when it comes to Walevi democracy, I don't know what democracy wants. Democracy entails that when you lose an election, you go and wait until you are given another chance. That is after 5 years. So basically, this one, the democracy that they demand, we don't want the democracy. There's only one, the winner takes it all. That's how it is in Zambia. When you win, you take it all. Not what we saw the other time. You also try to move with the motorcade alongside the Republican president. That we don't want.
Right.
And this is the reason why we are even procuring such vehicles.
The reason why you are procuring
such
security equipment?
Such equipment to make sure that we are up to the game, and the police are up to the game. We deter such from happening. Right. Where people who have other evil intentions of equaling themselves with the Republican president, they are deterred.
Let's speak more calls on the program. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. How are you? Good morning. Your name?
Yeah, Dr. Mainza himself. I'm calling you from Mukondo, Kanyama particular.
Dr. Mainza, good to have you on the line. Go ahead.
That's right.
Mukondo.
Mukondo.
Bwino mwibwanja wa Mainza. Njala.
Va Mainza. Vamainza. Hello, Osankara emotional. Me, I'm just trying to guide you. We have not discussed gassing here. So I want you to...